A very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another live session with GETI, or Global Education and Training Institute. I'm your host, Preena, Ambassador of Change, and I have with me Dr. Shabnam Khan with us today, an assistant professor, an educationist, and she is also involved in social services, taking care of her own NGO by the name of Help and Lift, which she started recently. After giving 11 years of a career in Saudi Arabia, where she was a professor of English language and an ELT expert, she had a great experience teaching and spending time with the students out there and training them in English. And she belongs to a very small city in Bihar, Gaya. If we talk about her education, she was actually associated somewhere from Aligarh Muslim University also, after completing her graduation in communicative English. Miss Shabnam has joined us today to talk on something important, that is homeschooling better than traditional schooling? So, a very warm welcome to you, ma'am, on this platform of Getty, and viewers are all
Thank
yours.
you.
Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, Prina, ma'am. Okay. So, can everyone hear me? Is my voice clear and my video clear? Is it okay? So, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, everyone, to all the viewers and to Prina, ma'am. Thanks a lot to give me this platform, and thanks very much to call me on this to give me this chance. It's also an opportunity, good opportunity for me to show myself and to uh, you know to just give my own opinion, what I feel about particular value like topics. So today we are going to talk about there is a very common topic nowadays. It was an old trend, but now it's very common in nowadays, as mainly we are suffering from this corona and all these things and this pandemic. So I will be talking about the homeschooling and versus homeschooling versus traditional schooling, that we all went to the school, all of you know, we all went to the school and then came to the college. So we will be talking about the school. There are two kind of schools there. One is the traditional school, that's all of us know. I'm just going to share my screen, and then I'll be showing you the introduction of what I'm going to show today, what I'm going to tell about. Share screen. Just give me a moment. Okay. And yes. Is it okay to everyone? Can everyone see me? Can everyone see my
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
this PPT?
It's
Okay.
it's visible. Yes, ma'am.
So yeah. So let's start from this topic. The name of my topic is homeschooling better than traditional education, or why not? Like, all of us have different opinions about this. So for me also, if you ask me, I will tell you that in the starting, like earlier, I used to feel like, no, school going is must. You have to go to the school. Any child has go to the school. But now, after studying a lot about this very old trend, homeschooling, I got to know that it's really very effective and very smooth and very easy and very comfortable way of learning for the children without going to the school. Okay, so let's start. Let's see. If you have any query, any question in the middle, also you can ask, or anytime. Okay, so what? Uh, Yeah. Although there was a fear of a very familiar sound of school bell, those boring lectures, sleepy and tired mood after the lunch break, we all had been there to complete our school period, hadn't we? We all were like, we are sleepy, we are feeling sleepy, we are feeling tired, or whatever. We want to run away from the school, but we had to complete the school days. Is it or not? So we all had been, through this kind of time period. Now let's have a very brief look on this, what is this, a traditional schooling? What is it actually? We all know, but let's have some points I have just collected. So the traditional schooling, it is associated with a bell signaling lessons. Like, there was a bell. You remember the bell? There was a bell, and after each bell, the period was changing. Like, first you have English, then you have science, then you have maths, and so on. Next, you have beginning and ending time. There was a particular time. We used to go to the school at 7, and we used to come back to the school at 2 or 3, whatever. Okay. Then you have tedious homework. You were bounded with a homework. You have to do a homework. It should be clean. It should be so and so and so. Lots of instructions. Conflicts with classmates, mainly in teenage. Like, when the child goes to the age of I think teenage, like, 8th standard, 9th standard, there was a feeling of competition, different kind of feeling. Why this is happening with her? Why he is doing so? Why I cannot do so? So there was a kind of, up and down, like a feeling of competition is there. So these kind of things are there in traditional schools. Never ending exams, and last but not the least, it's like, we always have never ending exams. We have tests every month. We have tests or assignments. If we are in the senior classes, we have projects also. So these are the things that we are bounded with in the school. It's generally believed that schools give children a competitive environment and atmosphere and help them achieve their goals. Schools provide opportunities to students to learn values, moral values, etiquettes, disciplines, etc. That is at home, the children, they don't listen to their mother easily. They listen, but they don't listen to their mother easily. So we believe, like, going to the school is not giving them only education, it's giving them manners and values and etiquettes and disciplines. All these things also they are learning from the school. Okay, in fact, they are learning from the home also. In family also, they learn so many things apart from formal subjects. Okay, so school also provides sport facilities to their students. We always have a sports period, games period. We always have a PT period. Okay, so if you remember your school days, you will you will be familiar with all these things. But what if you don't want to go to the school, or if the child doesn't want to go to the school? But what if you get an alternate of all these things? Yes, that is, you can see here, that is homeschooling. That's what we are going to talk about today. It is, you can say, it is an alternative of traditional schooling that at a point you can say, like, it becomes boring or it becomes so challenging for us. Okay, so for at that point we can say that homeschooling is the perfect schooling for your child, for your, you can suggest your friend also, you can suggest your family members also to give your children homeschooling. Okay, let's go to uh, a brief introduction about homeschooling. What is it actually? So, a homeschooling is an age old educational practice which has again regained popularity in the recent time. It's popular mostly in the UK, Russia, the USA, Japan, and now it is, you can say, during these last 2 years, it's very much popular in India too. It was in India before also, but not in that much. Now it is very much popular, and very much, the parents and the children are, number of parents and children are increasing for the who are going for the homeschooling. It is an alternative way of getting the best education without going to the school. In homeschooling, you don't have to go to the school. You just have to stay at home, make a proper routine, and you have to, your education will, the child's education will go on uh, as like same as school. Okay, where the students are provided with all the facilities of school, college, institution at home, such as the best teacher you can give to your child, books, best books you can give, assignments, homeworks, and many interactive activities. Also, we can give to our children, or the teacher who is appointed for the child is can give any kind of interactive skills based activities. Okay, so what I'm telling you is 1 minute. Yeah. Such as the best teacher, books, assignments, homework, interactive activities, etc., without facing any challenges. As you all know, that in school, going to the school is a kind of competition and challenge. But at home, if the child is at home, child is learning at home, he's not going to have any competition with other child. He's not have any that kind of feeling, or he's not going to face any kind of challenge. Homeschooling is a technique or a methodology, also, you can say, where parents have a choice to give the best education to their kids at home. This technique or methodology got very popular during this pandemic. During this last, you can say, 1 year and some months, again, the second wave has come. So, what we will do? I don't think we are ready to send our schools to the to the schools. The only difference is that in the traditional homeschooling, education system doesn't need to go get enrolled with any school or institution. Means uh, we only have to bring a course, and we only need a good teacher. It might be the mother also, it might be the father also, but better if we have an appointed teacher from outside. And we have a course of, for example, class 5. Maybe the child is in class 5, we can bring the course. It might be CBSE course, ICSE course, or ICGSE, any course you can choose, and you don't need to get enrolled from with any school, or you don't need any permission from the government. As I would like to tell you that in India, you don't need to take any permission for homeschooling from the government. But in the US and UK and Russia, other countries, foreign countries, they need permission. They need permission from the government that yes, I want my child to give the homeschooling. I want to vacate my child from the from the school. I don't want to send my child anymore to the school. So for this, there is a procedure in those countries. But in India, I don't think till now I didn't see such cases in which the parents are taking the permission. Okay, so the next point is whereas during this pandemic, school students are attending online classes at home. Yes, now we have one more addition to this homeschooling. This online classes, we are giving our children online classes that is recommended from the school itself. What is this actually? What do you think? Like, is it also homeschooling? As far as I feel, it is also kind of homeschooling, but the difference is only that here my child is or your child is enrolled with a particular school or institution, and they are just running these classes and all these things. But the child is safe. The child is at home. Okay, the child is he or she is getting the full education and all the things at home. Uh, the home-based learning online classes have become a very probable choice of most of the parents. Now, this home-based learning, or you can say online classes, or you can say in a very easy language, you can say homeschooling. It's the trend of these things is it's increasing day by day. Mainly, I'm talking about India. In India, you will see it's very common in the big cities like in Calcutta, in Delhi. You can see the morning rush hour is greatly minimized for both kids and parents, mainly for the mother. What happens when the child goes to the school? My I have three children, three girls. If all the three girls are going to the school, I need to get up in the morning. I have to make them get up in the morning, and have to create a mood. Okay, get up, get ready, take the breakfast, take the books, and so on. And I was also in a stress. So the same thing happened with all the parents. Of course, it's not something different or unique. So the morning is usually very, very like we have to run here and there. We have to rush to send to the children to the school. But in the homeschooling or in this home-based learning, you don't need to rush. You don't need to run or go somewhere outside the house. You are at home. Your child can get ready, can get fresh, can take the breakfast at home before starting the school. And the timing is also according to your choice and requirement. If you know that your child he cannot get up 6 or 7 in the morning, So you can choose the time like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You can choose the time according to his habit. In fact, getting up late is not good, but still, gradually you can do these things, manage with these things. The trend of homeschooling is increasing nowadays from 7 to 15%. Each year it is increasing. Currently, about 200 million children learning at home through homeschooling. Now, I'll just give you 2 minutes. You can just think from to ask to yourself that according to you, if you think about your child, which schooling is better, homeschooling or going to the traditional school? Many parents now also they believe that going to the school is the best thing. There is no comparison with going to the school, the traditional school. Okay, so what do you think? You can just leave your message, leave your opinion if you want. If you want to say something, give your opinion. You can leave this in the chat box, and we will discuss about it later on. Okay, so now let's come on to homeschooling. Why homeschooling sounds better? Why does it sound very so smooth and very comfortable? Why we choose this? So there are so many reasons. There are so many advantages of homeschooling. You can see here I have mentioned five advantages of homeschooling. First is emotional freedom. Second is customizable curriculum. Third is better academic accomplishments. Fourth is strong student-teacher bond. And the last is there are so many, but I have just pointed out the very important points. Providing a safe environment. Our children education is also important. Everything is important, but the safety nowadays, these days, you can see our childhood was different, but these children are very, they're not very strong like us we used to be in our childhood. And the time is also not the same like 20 years ago. So our children's safety is the most important thing, I think. So the first one, let's talk about the first one, emotional freedom. Students are free from all kinds of typical school pressure, such as peer pressure, stress of competition, homework, assignments, quizzes, exams, etc. Homeschool kids can dress up and act the way they like. They are not bound to a particular environment. They learn to live in the real world. Okay. Second is customizable curriculum. Here we talk about the curriculum. If we go to the school, we have to follow a curriculum. In 2 months, we have to study this. In 1 week, you have to study this. Like this, there is a syllabus. You can say syllabus in a simple language. You can say. So here, customizable curriculum is there in homeschooling. It can be according to your choice. Tailored curriculum as per the need and requirement of the students and parents also. Parents can decide what and when is the perfect topic or time to learn for their kids. Personalized timetable gives a lot of opportunities to the students to learn and grow more. In this timetable, many parents and many educationists they believe that the child's mind and the child's personality grows better and faster than the school child, the traditional school child, because they get the open environment. They are free to think, they are free to learn anything if they want to learn. If they don't want to learn noun today, if they want to learn word today, so okay, let's learn word today. Leave the noun we can you know the teacher can teach noun any other day. So the curriculum is flexible, it's customizable. You can change them, you can cut them, you can tailor them as per your requirement or your child's requirement. Okay, you can see here, as I told you, that there is a particular timetable for the homeschooling kids also. In school, we had a timetable. We all had a timetable. But in homeschooling also, many parents believe, I talk to some parents, they say like, homeschooling, what homeschooling? They are at home. They're not learning anything. They don't have a particular time. They get up late. They just lie down on the bed. and they just attend the class and go. No, it's not like that. You can see this. I just got this very nice daily schedule of a 10th standard student who is having this timetable from morning 5:30 to 11 at night. The whole day, how he's spending. He has activity time, he has study time, he has food time. All the kind of things are here. You can see in this timetable. So I think it's not easy to just be very strict with the students, with the kids at home. But if we have this kind of schedule and we follow this schedule, we teach our kids to follow this schedule. It's very nice. The homeschooling would be the perfect thing, I think, if you follow this kind of schedule. Okay, everything will be under the schedule, proper schedule. Better academic accomplishment. Another point is better academic accomplishment. Topics can be covered in much shorter time in homeschooling than traditional schooling. Uh, what does this point mean is, I will tell you. The thing, like for example, you have a topic like in a children in a fifth standard, a child is having noun or maybe having parts of speech. In the school, that same child is will learn these parts of speech in a month, maybe, or maybe in 2 months. Sorry, in a week, or maybe 2 weeks, because it is all planned according to a lesson plan that is made by the teacher or by the coordinator. But the same thing, if the child is going to study at home in homeschooling, the teacher can teach this, I'm sure, within half an hour. Okay, because the interaction is very strong there. They are very close to each other. They are sitting with each other. There is not a big rush. There is not a big gathering. So that same topic, that's what I'm going to tell you. The curriculum is your, the syllabus is your, the topic, what you have to study, in how much time, parts of speech, for example. The homeschooling teacher can teach you in one class, maybe half an hour, 1 hour can teach you. But the same topic in the school can be taught in 1 week, maybe. If you have a small kids, you can see their syllabus. They 2 days they take to learn noun, then they come to the pronoun, the adjective, then verb. It goes like very slowly. So this is also a very big difference. In the homeschooling, the topic can be covered much faster than the traditional schooling. More personal care and grooming in homeschooling. You can take care of your child. Your child is in front of you. You can see, and the teacher also. You can see what the teacher is teaching, how the teacher is behaving with the student, with my child. Students are found to pick up things more efficiently in homeschooling. They can very easily pick up the things rather than picking the things or a particular topic in the traditional schooling. Because there, as I told you, there is a number of students, maybe the child is not comfortable, but at home the child is comfortable, he's okay, and he's willing to study, he's willing to learn new things. He can pick the things very quickly, very efficiently at home. Strong student-teacher bond. Here comes about the teacher. Up till now, we didn't talk about the teacher. Who is the teacher in the homeschooling? What do you think? Who is the teacher? The mother can be. The father also can be the teacher in the homeschooling. But the professional way to provide a teacher to the child, to the homeschooling child, is you can appoint a good teacher, or you can say tutor or teacher, anything you can appoint, and that teacher will teach your child. He or she will come every day at your home in a particular time and will teach your child. A number of factors like shyness, nervousness, etc. Hampers students' performance in the traditional classroom, whereas such hindrances are generally not found in homeschooling. In the homeschooling, the child is at home, as I am mentioning again and again, and there is no big gathering, there is no big group of students. No one is there to laugh at the child if he is having a mistake. If the child makes any mistake, there is no one going to make fun, no one going to laugh at that child. Okay, this feeling is also, for some for some children, they can face these things, but for some children, they are very weak. Like, not only in education, they are weak by heart also. They cannot tolerate these small things. They're small things according to me and you maybe, but it's not a small thing. It really affects the child's, brain and mind and heart. Okay, and the speed of learning also. It affects the speed of learning also. So at home, the child is away from and safe from this kind of feeling of shyness and nervousness, that how should I ask, if I have any doubt, how to ask, should I ask or not ask. Okay, these kind of things come in the traditional classrooms. The students feel comfortable at homeschooling as they get stress-free environment at home. Students can openly and repeatedly ask questions until their doubts are clearly cleared, which is kind of difficult in traditional classroom. Many times, 10 times, 5 times, 20 times, until the doubt is clear, the child can ask. He doesn't need to take permission from anyone. There is no time bound, like, okay, time is going to finish. Should I ask or not ask? Or what the people will say if I ask the question, what other students will think and laugh if I ask any question to the teacher. Is my question silly, or my question is as genuine as other questions, other questions? Many things come in our mind when we were the students. If you remember your school days, uh, I had this problem. I used to feel like, should I ask or not? Is my question normal, or people will laugh at me? So this thing is a very big factor. Okay, so the child is safe from this thing also when he is homeschooled. Providing a safe environment at home, as I said, it's the home. So the child is at the safest place of the world. Homeschooling is much safer than traditional school, where students have to travel to school by means of transport. Okay, the child is going to the school by a transport, whether the bus is coming or the taxi is coming or something like that. Okay, so some children, it's a very basic thing I'm telling you. Some children, they have morning sickness. That is another thing. But here we talk about the safety. And yes, mothers are always concerned that, yeah, maybe my child will have vomiting in the bus. Who will take care? How the child will manage? How the child will clean the things? Many things come in the mother's mind. You cannot, uh, stop that at a particular point. One thing is this thing, as I told you, as a mother, what I felt. But another thing, in today's time, as I said before, also the safety is the most important factor. So when our child is going outside, who is in the bus, who is in the transport, how are the driver? I'm telling you very very practical things. How are the drivers, and how are the people, or who will be on the way from home to the school? uh, Different kind of people are there. So I don't know how the child is going to face all these things. Who are the good people, who are the bad people, who is seeing your child from which kind of point of view? Okay, so this time is not safe, as I told you before also. So, homeschooling is much safer than traditional school, where students have to travel. In traditional school, you have to send your child to the school by bus or by a transport. But homeschooling, you don't have to send them anywhere. They are at home. Okay, there is no means of transport. Your child is just getting up in the morning. He or she is at home, staying at home, getting ready, having breakfast, and starting his or her studies. While going to school, a child may face extremities like physical violence, sexual assault. Nowadays, these things are very, very common, very, very, every day you are seeing in the news that these things are happening with 5 years girl, 7 years girl, or even with the boys. Drugs, smoking, alcohol habits, or maybe the child sometimes what happens gets involved in the drug addiction, alcohol addiction, or smoking. These things happen with the mainly the child when he or she goes to the higher classes, like after 8 and 9 classes. So these things, risk of these things, rises very high. So, and the homeschooling, what I will say, your child is safe from all these things. Okay, the child is at home. The child is in front of the parents' eyes. What they are eating, what they are drinking, what they want to eat, what are their choices in eating and drinking, and what are their habits. Everything is in front of the parents. The learning process can be totally hampered in cases of physical or mental abuse, whereas in homeschooling is completely safe as the kids are always under the guardianship the parents. So the same thing has come here, as I told you that you know if the child is challenged, in case may God save all the children of the world. I will pray for all of them, but I will tell one thing that if the child is affected physically or mentally, or he or she is tortured in such a way, he or she cannot learn anything. The learning will be zero. Whether the child goes to the school or he learns at home, the learning will be very slow or maybe zero because he is already in stress. The child, he or she, is already in the stress. He or she has some mental stress. The child is in thinking mode. What's happening with me? What is it? Should I tell someone or not? So the mind will be completely disturbed, and therefore there will be no learning. Okay. So one thing is that this is what I feel that is the most important thing, and that's why I chose homeschooling for most of the kids. Here you can see there are some homeschooling associations in India. You can see Indian Association of Homeschoolers, also known as Swashikshan. The website is given there. You can use the website, go to the website, and you can see everything is there. All the information are there. Then you have Homeschooling Forum, Twitter of Homeschooling in India, then FB of Homeschoolers India, Homeschooling in India, Yahoo Group, Google Group of Indian Homeschoolers. Okay, so these are the homeschoolings in India, homeschooling associations or homeschooling, you can say. They will arrange the perfect homeschooling for you at home. You can contact with them and they will provide you the best, facility and information, uh, or you can satisfy yourself by asking so many questions. How does this happen? How does that happen? They give a reply. They give response. Then some supporting organizations you have here. Here you have some supporting organizations with the homeschooling is Homeschool Legal Defense Association. That's also known as HSLDA, Multi World Network. Then you have Pune Homeschoolers Group. Then you have Cascade Family Learning Society, a society for homeschooled children in Chennai. It is in Chennai. Learning societies and UN conferences. Learning societies, UN conferences. Then you have Udaipur-based Shikshantar. Okay, so you have these are the home schools. Above is the home school, and the link is also there. And below is the homeschooling organization that can organize this homeschooling for you, that can guide you, which is the best homeschooling for the child, for the students. Okay, so these are the things uh, which will be, I hope, which will be help you in understanding what is the homeschooling, and from where you can get the help with, you can get the information about these homeschoolings. And I'm still learning on this. I'm still exploring on this. Now I want to explore the things practically. What and where is the best homeschooling. So you can ask me also, not exactly nowadays. After some days, hopefully, I will have all the information. about homeschooling, which city, which place, which one is the better one, okay, which to choose and which not to choose. So these things will be available. So here, finally, let's come to the conclusion. My presentation was not very big, but I think I have covered most of the points that is important for you if you want to send your if you want, if you are thinking to give your child homeschooling. Okay, so the conclusion what I found here is, finally, what I think, that many of the parents and children find homeschooling better than traditional schooling because they feel that they get some advantages for their future. It's not only about now, it's good for the future also. It makes you prepare for the future also. It's not only about the education, but also about the social interaction and flexibility of time. Social interaction is also there. Many of the parents, I talk to them, in my friend circle only, they completely disagree. They say like, no, how is it possible if your child is completely at home, how the child is learning the social behavior, how to meet them. There are some children, they live alone, they become aggressive, they become like they don't want to share their things with other children, or they don't want to say hi or hello, they don't want to meet anyone, they don't want to greet anyone if somebody comes at home. No, it's a big misunderstanding. It's not true. Within the homeschooling, each and everything is arranged. All the outcomes will be the same as we get from the school, and with a comfortable environment. Your child is at home, the child is safe, you are also comfortable as a parent, and you are giving the best schooling and education to your children at home. And the child is learning the same thing, social interaction and flexibility of time also. Social interaction is also, they learn from the homeschooling. The teacher gives a moral class, you can say. We had a moral science class in the school, so the moral lesson also is a part of homeschooling. There's a separate, you can say, you can keep a separate period for the for the moral lesson, for the moral science. Like we have English, math, science, geography, history, civics. We can have a moral science class also. In that, the teacher can give the moral lessons, and not only give the moral lessons just from the book. The teacher tells the students to do this in the real life also. If somebody comes to your home, you should do like this. You have to do like this. You have to help your mother. You have to help your father. You don't have to fight with your friends. Something like that. In the beginning, the parents should be little patient because in the starting few days there is no result. But after a few days, you can see an amazing result of it. Like you can say in the starting, like 1 week, 5 days, 6 days, you will feel like, what is this? My child is not learning. The child is sitting just at home. What he is learning? Just reading the book, making the notes. No, you will feel like this only in the starting, but later on, the things will be comfortable. There will be exams, there will be assignments, there will be everything from the teacher's side, whatever is important to evaluate the student. And the student will be evaluated, and of course the results will also be very very nice, very very effective. And then the parents later on, the parents, they become comfortable. As I read some article of some homeschool parents, they have written their experience that later on, after 10-15 days, they feel like, no, the learning is going on, my child is learning, I was wrong, I have to carry on. Okay, so you don't have to be in a hurry. Okay, when you want to start this homeschooling for your child, you can start, you can give some time to the teacher also and to your children also. And the result will come gradually, but it will come, it will give amazing result, it will give awesome result. Child can learn and get each and everything at home, for which they are sent to a good school. As I have mentioned everywhere, that we can provide each and everything, the same environment, the same books, the same courses, the same lessons, the same manners, disciplines, everything at home for which we send our children to the school. Okay, so we think like our children are going to the best school. This school is so nice. This school has so many equipment, so many tools for learning. All the teachers are talking in English. The environment is very good. Of course, they are good. No, I'm not telling that. But there are so many things on that point. You have to decide whether the child has to be sent to the school, or we can give the homeschooling and give them the best result or not. And now I'm satisfied. I feel like homeschooling is the best schooling, best way to teach our children at home, same as the school. And I have shown one timetable also, the schedule also. You can see if one schedule is prepared for a child, and that is maintained very nicely, very strictly in a proper manner, just same like the school schedule, then of course it will give amazing result and very quick result it will give. So that was all what I have collected about the homeschooling, about homeschooling and traditional schooling, and how they are different from each other, and how I got impressed and how I got convinced for this homeschooling. And as I said, like earlier, I was not in favor of this, but now I have read a lot of articles and many videos I have seen of the parents. They are completely comfortable and they are satisfied with the learning that the children are getting from the homeschooling. So that was all about the homeschooling. Thank you very much. If you have any query, anything, any question, I'm here. You can ask me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was uh,
Yeah. Okay.
informative. It was a very informative session. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing. As you talked about, homeschooling is better. Is it
Yeah.
better than traditional schooling? As you said, that we all have been there with the familiar sound of school bell and that
Mhm.
constant peer pressure
Hmm.
for the exams. We all have been there, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and many of would agree that this is the time when one one must go. I think that's how you give that exposure to the child, to adapt different conditions and to
Hmm.
know the real world. But then again, you also told about the concept of homeschooling, which is an age old education practice, but it has
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
become it has gained
More
popularity in
popular.
the
Yeah.
recent times. Yes,
Yeah.
it has gained that popularity now. But I think both home education and traditional schooling has its own pros and cons. Yeah,
Yeah. Of
the
course.
viewers can actually decide. It's important to do that research thoroughly before deciding, before
Yeah.
coming to any decision that you will be opting for homeschooling or for the traditional schooling, because each child is unique. They have their own learning style, their own interests, their own challenges, their
Yeah.
own
Of
plus
course.
points, and all of them deal with it differently with different methods of learning. So one of the most essential element of schooling is to have to foster and inspire that love of learning,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah.
they can carry
Motivation.
throughout their lives.
Yeah.
that's
Motivation is
that's
the
very
most important thing. Yeah.
absolutely absolutely. So yes, overall it was a very insightful session, ma'am. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much to all the viewers for joining in, and big thanks to you on behalf of our team for giving us your precious time and joining us today. Thanks a lot. And the viewers, if you have any questions, you can post it in the comment section. Ma'am will definitely try to go
Yeah.
through the
I'm here.
questions later on, for sure. So yes, we'll be back. Sure, we'll connect again, ma'am, with some other topic to talk on. It was lovely
Yeah.
having you
Sure.
on this platform.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. With
Thanks a
this, we
lot.
conclude.
I also felt so good. After 2 years, I think I gave this webinar presentation. Otherwise, it was always, face to
Yeah.
face interaction.
Right.
So thanks a
It's a
lot.
new
Thanks a
for all
lot to
of us.
Getty. Thanks a lot to you
Pleasure is all
to
ours,
give me
ma'am.
this
Thank you.
platform. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, viewers. Bye.